buddy.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, I'm just
I'm on
watching.
the chopping block.
Watching Unacceptable Fringe.
Don't send it to us.
When
right?
you look at Renew Alberta just went on and said on John Bolton's channel, well, I'm asking for donations for if I got a driver.
Yeah, saying that my Let's Talk Alberta fundraiser, we're just going to be pocketing the money. And, I sent him a nice super chat to support him.
John Bolton's coming in.
I watched, there's lots of people doing that. I'm assuming he's making money for doing the work. Super proud of him for doing that. But I just wanted to point out to him that he did exactly the same thing to me just now.
But
that
we have to mention everybody
I do something he did to him, and it kind of upset me a little bit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. I like Unacceptable Fringe.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway,
it just goes to
talks with them, but
it just goes to show people should probably talk to each other before they make claims like this.
You know what? I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Lawrence. You know this already. What Facebook monetization's like, it's not the greatest.
No.
People don't send me 10, 5, 20, 50 bucks super things, whatever, on YouTube or Facebook. They don't send me stickers. I'm watching this. I'm watching the work, legit work that Derek's doing, and he should be paid for it. I'm watching the work and I'm watching him be paid. I do a lot of work that I don't get paid for, as do you. Let's Talk Alberta 100%. Is a perfect example. When we started that, I literally use money that I don't have to pay for it, right? And
I know you did. You and I had conversations, off camera at length about the resources, the time away from home, time away from your business that you're actually putting into it. And I've seen it firsthand, right? Like I've talked at a couple of your events and I've seen the effort, the amount that goes in behind it. Like I'll be perfectly honest. I show up and I speak, right? But you're there getting things done. You've assembled a team. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things, and it all, the room you're in is not free, right? The room you're speaking in is never free. Like this is the thing is, that's unfortunate.
I'm just going to send him an invite. Oh, wait, I got to pay. You have to pay a little bit of money to do a super chat. I don't do the YouTube thing, so this is all new to me.
YouTube's awesome.
Okay. Yeah,
all my people that are watching me on YouTube right now, appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are wicked doing this. That's not how I figured we were going to start the show, but you know what? This is at the end of the day, it's just two guys shooting the shit on a Saturday night, right? Friday night. Sorry. Had the day messed up here.
I'm such a dink.
What did you say?
No, I'm not being rude. I just I enjoy being nice to people when they've offended me. It makes me feel good.
It's unfortunate because you know what, I do like Unacceptable Fringe, and this is the thing though. Okay, so I fucked up today too, right? So I want to I'll get to that. Well, wait, what did you say? Okay.
Just publishing my credit card number for Facebook to see.
Oh,
that's
good.
What I do.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So anyway, continue.
But emotions are running high, okay? And like, for instance, like there's somebody over in the movement that, you said today that I use the premier talking points, whatever. And maybe I overreacted. I pulled the video down, and then afterwards he went out and called me whatever he called me because I pulled the video down. But the last thing I want right now is I don't want people to get so angry that we split up our movement.
Maybe you give us some money, right? This is what I'm talking about. Everybody's pointing fingers.
Not your viewers.
I get it, but everybody's pointing fingers, and everybody's a faction now. And I told you about these guys, but come listen to us. Come on, stop it. What the hell is day offs?
Oh, it's awesome. I love it. So just to be clear,
I like the work he's doing.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone. I'm literally responding to what I saw, and someone sent me the clip. Derek's concerned that people are trying to monetize Alberta independence, right?
Yeah.
Folks, those of you who know me, People don't send me money to do specific things like town halls or pierogi dinners or fuel specials because they're going to get an itemized receipt of everything I spend. They support what I'm doing because they know I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. Right? They trust me. They know that my heart is in this, and my goal is to make things better. Right?
Yeah.
And I get it. There's a lot of people out there that aren't like that. Like, look at that Dutch YouTube channel, right? That Dutch YouTube channel making likely thousands of dollars misinforming people about Alberta independence, like literally lying and making ridiculous claims about Alberta independence to try and make money.
And the thing is Fringe was actually put into that AI deep fake or whatever they were trying to call it. And I couldn't believe that they added a real guy. I even did a video. I was like, I actually know who this guy is, and he does really good work. Right. And, but today, I guess my whole point was today's a very the past 48 hours has been a very frustrating time for a lot of people. And, this is what I love about you, Chris, is like, I've called you and I'm like, man, this is fucking bullshit. Like I have, and you've been like, Lawrence, just calm down, just relax, and that's what I love about you is you have that way about you where it's just stay the course, steer the ship and just stay on mission. Right. And I need to hear that sometimes. And like today, when I took down that video, it was like you didn't talk to me because you were busy doing what you were doing. But I was like, man, like, I really need to do better as a content creator, and it's all about learning. And you know what? I was frustrated. I was in the zone, and it is what it is. So, I'm not excusing anybody's actions. I'm not going to put words in anybody's mouth, but all I can do for myself is, apologize for being a dipshit sometimes and just move on and carry on.
Yeah. And that's what we got to do. Not everyone's going to have the same opinions. Not everyone has the same path. And let's talk Alberta for a second. I mean, let's talk Alberta for a second. Why did I do that? Why did I choose to spend my time and my money, by the way, doing that initiative? Well, I am a firm believer, not even just believer. I'm 100% certain that the most important aspect of Alberta independence is education. And the reason for that is when people are educated, what the facts are, what the reality is, and what we could have and how we can get there, if they have a couple neurons in their brain, they are Alberta independence minded individuals for sure. That's the way it is. I can't tell you how many times we've held a meeting and there's been someone in the room who puts their hand up when I say who's on the fence, who's opposed. They put their hands up very bravely, by the way, because the majority are on board. And then we explain to people why we're advocating this position. And I watched those people who were on the fence get up and go outside, walk around the corner, and go to a Stay Free thing that's set up not in my events, but somewhere else, and sign, right? Yeah. Because they just needed that education. Now, we have an interesting situation with Stay Free Alberta and Alberta Prosperity Project. Okay, so the CEO of the Alberta Prosperity Project, Mitch Sylvester, fantastic human being, great guy, works hard, believes in Alberta, and is walking the walk. He's the CEO of the Alberta Prosperity Project. He's the leader. He's the guy that gets things done, right? He's also the proponent of the referendum question. So during that referendum petition time, his time was spent completely doing that. Like he did not have time to run APP. Now, him and I had a disagreement about this. I believe that APP should continue on with somebody else filling in the role, doing the education while Mitch took care of Stay Free. He disagreed with me, so they shelved APP. That's fine. That's his prerogative. He can do that. Just because I didn't agree doesn't mean that I should immediately get my way, right? So I look at the situation and I know Mitch is a good guy. I don't have a problem with him. I believe that we need to do the education. So I just did the education. We just did the town halls. We booked the places. We started from nothing and we did it. And that's how this is supposed to go, right? If we have a disagreement with someone over how things are going or what we should be doing, we can choose to either fight with that person or we can just go where we need to go, right? We don't have to have everybody with us. And one of the things that's concerned me the most about this is I know the closer we get, the more the higher the stakes go. The more we get attacked, the stress level is going to go up, and people will start eating each other. Like our movement will start to implode if we allow it to. And if we just worry about what we're doing and we don't play a victim to what someone else is doing, we're going to be much, much better for it. Much better.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, and that's where I got to do better. You know, I own my shit when I'm wrong. I do. You've seen that. Well, hell, I was watching you and standing against Alberta independence for the longest time. You know, I was trying to debate Alberta independence because I wanted to stay in Canada for the longest time. And it's guys like you who pushed me over the edge, like basically to that line and where I could establish what my line was. And then I went over the line, right? My line was crossed. So you know, I have you to thank for that. And you were a huge, huge part of that. So was Adam Durgis. He was a big part of that as well. And some other people and even Jeff Rath, right? Who, you know, for whatever reason, him and I don't see eye to eye. I don't know the man at all. And I don't pretend to know him. Maybe one day we'll be able to quash that offline. I think, you know, like today I should have never made a video. Like I said, I took that down. I apologize for that. I always will. You know, but one day him and I might be able to have a conversation and squash it. From what I know is I support the premier. He doesn't, and that might be a big issue. But again, as adults, we should be able to squash it. I really need to understand that not everybody is going to like me in this movement, nor should everybody have to like me in this movement. And I need to grow and learn from that as well. Right. It's, there's a lot of learning that I'm doing too. And a lot of people don't realize this. Okay. And you know, and this is just how it all played out. Last year at this time, I was, just a micro creator, right? I had 12,000 followers on Facebook. I think I had something, maybe like 250,000 over all my platforms. I have 860,000 over all of my accounts right now. You know, that's that insane. Just happened in the past year. And with that comes more harassment, more hate, more bullying, more all this other stuff. And I need to grasp and learn how to be a better human being with that type of responsibility. Yeah. So, you know, maybe I need to take a little bit of time off now and again and call my friends and be like, hey, you know, and just kind of think about it that way. But, you know, you are right. As we move closer, people are going to start, you know, getting angry and getting upset. And especially what's happened over the last 48 hours, you know, there's a lot of anger and upset. And I fell into that trap. So like I said, for my followers, I apologize to you. I own my shit. I'll always own my shit. And you know, you guys deserve better out of me. So there's my thing, Chris.
Yeah. You know what? That's why people watch you. People watch you because you're human.
I thought it was because I don't wear pants and I just wear tops when I'm on camera and maybe, I don't know. That's for another show.
You're not wearing pants? I'm not wearing pants.
No, I'm not actually.
Wow. We're like the creepy brothers.
Yeah. You're not wearing
That's
pants?
Awesome.
What? Yeah.
Nice.
But you know what? It is one of those things like I'm honored that people watch me, and with that comes great responsibility, but people watch you too. And I need to actually look inwards at myself and admit my faults and weaknesses, and then look at guys like you who and how you handle conflict and how you handle things and maybe learn a thing or two, right? So that's why I'm super glad that God, you know, put us together here and we're in a really good bromance. Don't tell my wife.
It's great. You know, it's awesome getting a random picture of you eating a hot dog sideways from time to time. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, that was a good picture for sure.
So, folks, the reason why Lawrence and I wanted to do a live stream tonight was because the events of the last few days have been, I guess, a little bit chaotic, somewhat upsetting for some people. There's a lot of questions and even more misinformation around what's going on. So, in particular, we wanted to talk about what happened with the Centurion Project. Now, to be fair, I don't actually know what happened with them. There's an allegation, there's an investigation. I don't know what the outcome will be. However, a judge did grant an injunction that forced Centurion Project to take down their website and stop doing their thing, right? So that's happened. There's an allegation that they received an elector list from the Republican Party of Alberta that they had no business getting. Mm-hmm. Whether or not that's true, we don't know. We have no idea. It's blown up, and there's been some claims that, oh, this is going to derail the independence movement. I understand why people would think that, but I want to ask you folks, put this in the comments, please. Why is it that you think that particular thing would derail the largest show of the will of the people that Alberta has ever seen?
Yeah.
Why is it, all around one group, one guy, one thing?
Yeah.
I don't believe it is at all. I don't.
No, I don't either. I really don't either, Chris. And that's the thing. Like the Centurion Project, I did a video on it. It's just one thing that happened, and their heart's more than likely in the right place and trying to, promote Alberta independence in their own way. And you know what? All the power to them. But I woke up to a ton of DMs, emails, and comments today, and nobody told me that they're leaving the Alberta independence movement because of what happened. Nobody said that to me.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either. It's always about a specific person or a specific group that people are upset with. Mm-hmm. When they're sitting there at the ballot and they're going to check yes or no, who is stupid enough to let what Centurion Project did or what happened with the Centurion Project affect their choice for their own future? That would be completely retarded, and I don't think people are going to do that. But what it does do is it does affect the momentum of the movement a little bit, because some people who might come to a meeting may now be fearful that there's something not on the up and up, right? So that is a legit concern, I think.
Yeah, that is a legit concern. And I think that's the education piece, right? Is to just keep going out there, being human. Again, going back to the infighting or arguing or whatever it might be, that's going to turn people off. We all got to understand to be, like the Centurion Project said, like be better citizens, right? We have to we're Albertans. And I had to tell myself today, I actually looked myself in the mirror and I said, you're better than this, Lawrence. You're an Albertan. You love your province. If you're doing this for the right reasons, if you're doing this for the future, if you want your kids to have a good life, just stay the course and keep doing it. And you know what? It's very easy. It's easy to get frustrated, right? It's easy to get angry. It's easy to get pissed off. All those reactive things. It's super hard to look inward and tell yourself, what is the goal? The goal is to better the life of all of Albertans, including the one that was just born today or going to be born tomorrow, because this will change their lives. It's going to give what our old Canada was, what we all grew up in, what we all enjoyed, what we all thought Canada, should be. It's going to give that back to them. And I think it's our duty, and we are in a very important place in time, that it is our duty, instead of infighting or bickering or back and forth, that we need to actually just dig in and say, this is for the kids. This is for the future. Like, come on, like we're 40, like we're in our 40s, 50s, 60s, some of us, right? The thing is like, this is for our kids. This is actually who is going to benefit the most out of this, not us. It's not going to be us. It's going to be our kids. That's how I look at it anyway.
You said duty. I
did. Yeah.
You're 100%. You're 100% correct. That's what this is all about. I want to point out, and most people already know this, I'm an accidental, semi-famous, but not really famous individual.
You're pretty famous, dude.
Well, this was never something I wanted. I don't like crowds. I'm actually terrified of people, believe it or not. I have to prep myself to go into rooms where people are going to come up and talk to me and shake my hand constantly all night. That is not my thing. It's not my jam. I didn't want this. I embrace it because I realize that people support me because they appreciate my messaging and they want to go to that same place with me, right? So I embrace that. But it was never my dream to be a content creator. I didn't want to be a YouTube influencer, anything like that. I just wanted to be a business owner and be left alone, pretty much.
Yeah, so, and you know what? I've seen though, Chris, people opposed to independence, heavily opposed to independence, on videos actually say that you are one of the most level-headed people in the movement. And
That's quite the
don't take that
compliment.
lightly. That is a compliment. And because, you know, like, people feel that they can come and ask you questions. They do want to show up to your event because, you know, you are a very level-headed guy. I'm not saying that there aren't other level-headed people in the movement. You know, we all have our demographic that we appease and people like to talk to and listen to. But you also have that as well, right? And, you know, I've been to a Let's Talk Alberta event. They are very informative. They're very engaging. You allow anybody to speak, and you know, you're doing really good work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And we're gonna extend some invites to my good, close, and dear friend Thomas to attend Let's Talk Alberta event, and would even let him speak. You know,
100%.
I make the claim that these are town halls, public forum, and we want to talk about issues. I don't think the crowd would be quite very receptive to his brand of federalism, but if he'll accept the invite, then he could definitely speak. This is to think that this came about from my decision to get out of energy and into a restaurant, right? I bought that restaurant, the Whistle Stop Cafe in Mirror, Alberta, with the best burgers ever and lots of great overpriced Alberta Independence merch, by the way, whistlestoptruckstop.ca. Not that I'm doing a shameless plug or anything. I just want to make sure people know. I bought that place because I was sick of government policy interfering with my job.
Yeah.
I worked rigs, and every few years, some boneheaded thing would come out of the federal government and we wouldn't be working for 6 months. And I was sick of it. So I bought a restaurant right before COVID. And oh my freaking goodness, talk about government interference. But through all that, you know, that forced me to learn something. A lot of things, actually. It got me in rooms with people like Dr. Dennis Modry and Dr. Roger Hodkinson and you know, even Jeff Rath, who I know you got some friction with, and Leighton Gray and Dr. Michael Wagner, Corey Morgan. The list goes on and on and on. People that I would have never met. And the things I learned about my own situation brought me to the inevitable conclusion that Alberta must become independent. Like, this is the only way that someone in my situation, where my rights and liberties were infringed on by my government, there is no other way to remedy that, right? So my decision to change occupations came full circle, and now here we are. In my Facebook page, there's 140,000 people that follow that Facebook page, the Whistle Stop
That's
Cafe.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
I
bet you like probably 100,000 of them support me. 40,000 maybe want to see me fall on my face, and that's fine. They stroke the algorithm too and help help get views, and I'm happy to have it. But this is where some of us have come to. And I also realized that I like serving people food. I like serving things that people enjoy and that puts a smile on their face. That made me really happy when I started cooking. I had never cooked in a commercial kitchen before I got to the Stop Cafe. Now I've found something else. I've found that I really enjoy feeding people hope for the future. And that's a real thing. The haters, they don't hear that. They don't hear that in my message, but some people do. And I know you've experienced this too. People come up to us and they're like, you know, we really appreciate what you do and you've given us hope. Thank you for being leaders, that kind of thing. That actually, like, it fills my spirit, those types of things. Serving.
Yeah, it does.
And the Let's Talk Alberta, it is a servant mission. We are serving the people of Alberta. We are bringing the message of Alberta independence to everybody who wants to hear it, and talking to people who are opposed to it. We even do free pierogi dinners, right? Most people wouldn't do that. Most people wouldn't just go buy a whole bunch of food, not knowing how many people are going to show up, if they're going to donate to cover the cost, anything like that. We do that. And if we only have 25 people there, whatever, we only have 25 people. I pay the bill. Yep. It's service. Yep. We've been very fortunate though, Lawrence. For the most part, the expenses have been covered by the people that are attending. They're happy to support it. So that's really cool.
Awesome.
But this fundraiser tomorrow is for like nest egg stuff. We need to do some bigger things. We need some banners. We need to book venues a couple months in advance. And these events are like $2,000 a piece. So if we're going to I was going to say that some of those events are like $1,600, $2,000, $2,100, right? Yeah. Yeah. So if we're going to do 150 or 190 more of those, I guess Well, do the math. That is a big number. And we're totally willing to just continue feeding it and trying to recover costs and doing it. But I want it to be bigger. I want to make sure that we hit every area of this province 6 times before the referendum, because that's a big
100%.
question.
Yeah.
Important question. We got to talk about it.
Make sure I'm on the speaking list for Hinton, Alberta. That's where I graduated high school.
Hold on a sec. I got to
go to
copy
Hinton.
this and respond to Derek and give him the invite.
Is he coming over here? Sweet.
How do I do? Okay.
I saw some of the comments that says he was coming or something.
Do you have his number? I don't actually have his number.
No, I don't have his phone number.
Oh boy. My friend Derek, how do I get a hold of you? I'll reply to a comment on Facebook. That's what I'll do. So that's what I'm going to do while you're keeping people occupied.
Well, I'm keeping people occupied. Okay, yeah. So what do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to know? Fringe family, let's hit the like button for Berta Proud Dad. Yeah, no, the thing is, you know, people don't realize that I am very new to Alberta independence, like within the past, like 4 or 5 months. And the thing is I was always wanted sovereignty within a united Canada. That's what I wanted. And if you follow me a long time, you guys know this, because I took a lot of shit from the independence folks. And then when I came out and supported independence, I took a lot of shit from everybody outside of Alberta that were on the conservative side. You know, you're damned if you are, you're damned if you're not. But the thing is I'm doing this because I believe in it. That's the difference. I pissed off a lot more people by supporting independence, right, than not supporting independence. Like, people unfollowed en masse. They said I was going against conservatives. You're talking to a guy who, like, you know, really pumped up Pierre Poilievre. You guys know that. And then I apologized to Grant Abraham, the leader of the United Party, on stage at Jason Levine's event. And actually, Grant Abraham wasn't there when that happened. He called me the other day because he heard about it. He got my number. Somebody gave him my number, and him and I had a great conversation. We're going to have coffee next week. But that's the thing is we're not all perfect, and I don't pretend to be perfect. I'm learning about Alberta independence as we go from people like Chris, you know, and a lot of others. And that's why I tune into the show. I watch Jason Levine pretty much every day. I watch Fringe on his live streams. I watch Chris Scott. You know, I'm learning as well as I go about this, right? I've always been very interested and geared into politics, and I've always, you know, had an ambition to have a podcast and have a studio and do all this other stuff. But the thing is, you know, it's been a very weird transition from all Canadian politics and some United States and some global affairs into all in on independence, right? So, but I know what I'm doing is right because I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my heart. I feel that, you know, we need to save what's left of old Canada for our future. And that's why I do what I do on a daily basis. That's why I go through the gauntlet of shit. And that's why I'll continue to go through that gauntlet of shit with all the other content creators on this side, because that goes with the territory. That's part of it.
Okay, so I found him on X, and I'm going to message him on X. So hopefully he sees the message.
I'll see if he messaged me on any of my platforms, but
I should have actually planned that before when I extended the invite. Now I got to type all these stupid letters.
No, he hasn't sent me anything.
Does anybody know what 6-7 means? Has anyone figured it out yet?
No, I asked my daughter actually what 6-7 means, and yeah. But it would be good to have a talk with Fringe, right? Like, this is the thing, is we all should be able to have discussions and talk to each other. Whether you like each other or not. Like I said, you know, I'm still learning about that. And yeah. You should before trolling our feed. Well, I don't know if that was trolling, but it is what it is. See, that's the thing. You're going to have people who hate us, like us, don't even know us. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
Who's trolling? What?
Yeah, you weren't trolling. They're just accusing you of trolling. You weren't trolling.
Oh.
You were just responding, I think.
Hey, he got the message. Should we bring him on or make him wait in the back?
No, you bring him on, 100%.
I'm just kidding. Hey, buddy.
Hey, what the hell is this?
This is
Hello.
the Chris and Berta show tonight.
How are you? Wait, what happened in the stream? Everybody
In
thinks
what?
that I hate you guys now.
No, we don't hate you. We don't hate you. Oh, I don't hate you. I watch you quite regularly, actually.
No, everybody thought they didn't get my speech about talking about let's talk Alberta and everything else. Everybody thought I hated Chris because I was talking about all the different factions with this data leak and, you know, Renew Alberta and everything else. Everybody's, what are you doing, Fringe? And
well, you do have your own Fringe brigade, though. They did come over here.
I do.
I do like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they came and commented. Yeah, Steve was texting me.
But that is good to have that is good. Like the thing is like, I don't know what anybody was expecting. We were going to have a virtual pudding wrestling match. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I would actually go for that.
Like, I think the three of us were all in a room shaking hands and hugging about 2.5 weeks ago. So
you know what? I got it this week when I was talking to John Bolton. I covered a video on this Renew Alberta thing that happened because he said that we need to keep the Westminster system. And I didn't know John had sat down with a guy, right? Like he did an interview with a guy. And while his video was being uploaded, apparently I was making a video talking about the promotional videos that, you know, Renew Alberta had put out. And I says, this is totally out of whack. Like, why are we talking about the Westminster system? That's not independence. And all of a sudden, everybody, again, like as soon as you start talking about another YouTuber, and I didn't even mention John Bolton because I didn't know he did the video. People in my comments are like, do you hate John Bolton? He put out a video about this. I didn't say anything about John Bolton. Why is, like, everybody just thinks we all hate each other. That's why I said we need to do like a big, like WWE style, like fake hatred thing where we're all like, screw you, I don't like you. And then
I did that once.
It would get views. It'd get views.
I did that once.
We could be in the same room, set up the studios so we're close to each other, and then fight.
Control
and then
the narrative.
I'd come in stage right from the Fringe studio, and we could start fighting in there. And yours thing, Lawrence come in.
Totally, like a street fight. It would be perfect. Yeah, and then we all turn around, surprise.
Well, we can all just make it AI. We can make it AI because they accuse
don't talk to
some
me
of
about
us
AI.
of that.
Apparently, I'm the master of AI. Let's. I'm not real, by the way. It's all AI. It's cutting edge technology, guys. Better than Elon. Better than Elon.
Hey, let's get this. Let's clear the air on this real quick. So the reason I commented on your YouTube stream was because you guys were talking about not needing other organizations. Don't send them your money. Only support the referendum. And then the comment was made because the money is going to go in their pockets, right? And I get why people would assume that, because that happens all the time. In this case, I'll tell you exactly my position on this. So this referendum is the single most important thing that Alberta will face in the foreseeable future, for sure. It is incredibly important. The referendum is almost inevitable. If the premier drops the writ on the referendum, it's going to happen. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to fund it. The government will do it. What we do need to do is get every single Albertan in a room and talk about these things. And I explained to Lawrence why I started Let's Talk Alberta. It was because APP went into hibernation. I didn't agree with that. I think education is the most important aspect of all this. And rather than fighting with people, they do their thing. I do my thing. And now what I've tried to do is set up enough town halls that we can invite all of these people, specifically APP and other groups. And I don't know if we can. It's going to be tricky because I'm walking a very fine line between political expression and town halls and advertising. We cannot advertise for anything. We can express ourselves in town halls. So we got to be careful who we invite. But that's why I'm doing this. And we don't have backing from Trump, as many people might think. We don't get $20,000 a month, Derek. As
you guys aren't paid Russians. I mean, we've been told we're Russians, Russian AI bots. So
I did do an AI photo of me on a private jet and said I was going to Russia, and people actually did run with it. It was wild.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
did a video walking around a Cessna Cardinal talking about how the fuel tanks used to be for fuel, but now they're for chems, so we can spray it and take out entire provinces, and people believed it. And I got death threats.
Unreal. Unbelievable.
It's great.
So
that's what Let's Talk Alberta is about.
Okay. So what I was trying to allude to is what we've noticed again, when you look at the Freedom Convoy, and I try to use that as the primary example, when you look at what went down there, it first started out with a bunch of people being gobsmacked that the streets were full of all of these trucks, that it was really much larger than anybody anticipated, even though we saw the lines on the highways, we saw everything leading up there. But then all of a sudden, when they arrived in Ottawa, it was announced how much the Give, Send, Go, or the GoFundMe or whatever they were using at the time had achieved. And that was something like $20 million. And they started all of a sudden saying, well, it came from Americans, it came from everywhere else. And before you know it, it all became about the money. And you had bad actors showing up again, the Ben Dictors, the other people showing up to, hey, we know what we're doing with this money. And before you know it, some people got away with it, some people got prosecuted, and some people still have their lives ruined by it. Now, I'm seeing a similar pattern when you look at what happened with Centurion and bad actors. And I'm not going to label people within Centurion or any of that stuff. There's an investigation going on, so I'm not going to say who's doing what or who is what until that is concluded. However, people have been emailing me over the last 24 hours saying, can you believe, David Parker's a part of this? Or do you know Marty up north is a part of this? Or do you know, Cam Davies was maybe a part of it? And I go, guys, first off, Marty's a big boy. He can talk to whoever he wants and do whatever he likes. He made his own decision, right? When you look at David Parker or Cam Davies, I say both of those guys are friends. They worked for the government, in the government, and have both been fined for doing exactly what is being talked about in this data leak. So let the investigation do whatever it's going to do and find out who did what. But is anybody really surprised when that's the past behavior?
No.
So what I was mostly pointing out to when I was talking about giving money, it was more things like Renew Alberta. Again, because when I spoke with John Bolton, he reached out to me and said, I interviewed the guy. He's a pastor. He says, I don't know what to make of it, but he's asking people for donations. And he says, and I asked him, where do those donations go? And he says, well, I mean, if I got to drive around Alberta, or I got to go to speaking events, or go and do anything else. And John says, I get a little leery about those things because I want to know, how much are you getting off of this? What is the grift, a la Maxime Bernier? And what happens with any money that's left over when this is all said and done? And I'll leave that interview to John, because again, I haven't seen the whole interview, so I don't know how that was answered. But my concern is when you look at the Thomas Lukaszic's, who have, $150,000, $160,000 sitting out in limbo, that we donated it to charities. Oh, good. Then you should have a receipt. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. Well, we're not going to disclose that or give that to anybody. Why not? Like you ran a referendum, you should have to legally disclose where all that is, full transparency. And if you want to audit, Stay Free Alberta, if you want to audit APP, if you want to go after Centurion or whoever, then what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You should have to do all sides of the spectrum, not just them. And the biggest problem we face, and that I'm worried about people giving their money to, and believe me, Chris, I don't know when you came in, but I pointed this out. I said, what Chris does with Let's Talk Alberta is a fantastic organization. You guys have great town halls. You guys do your pierogies and everything else. And you get people out there in full force supporting this movement. And it's important we have those discussions. But what you're going to see happen with the Centurion Project is we're all getting painted with the same brush now, that because David Parker has tweeted out Mitch or mentioned Jeff Rath or been at a certain event, he's now in bed with Stay Free Alberta, which means they're all exposing these lists. They're all responsible for all this coming out. Now, we as YouTubers, as those involved in this process, know it's dirty pool. It's not true. The average person consuming that information on YouTube or mainstream media or wherever they're getting it from, well, they're drawing the lines of, okay, so are they funded by different outlets? Is it American money? Is it Trump? Is it all these things? It's so easy. We've seen with Nenshi pushing now that, oh, this is a travesty. It's something terrible. What happened with Revenue Canada's breaches? What happened with, our cell phone data being sold off or any of that stuff? You talk about this being a big deal. Well, it's because you're trying to get a seat in politics. It has nothing to do with a breach that's affecting anybody. It's being used as a tool to spread fear. But
this was already happening though, right? Like this was already happening. We we were already being smeared. We were already being told we were bots, or we were spies, or we were, you know, whatever, like traitors. Like, that's the big one.
Yep.
The thing is, you know, it happened. It was going to happen anyway. Whether it's Centurion Project or something else, they were going to do something, and there was going to be something happening to divide us. That's exactly what was going to happen,
and,
right?
You know, with the Centurion Project, it wasn't actually a breach. So what they're alleging is it's a misuse of an lecture list. So nobody breached it. It wasn't. There's something. I looked up the criminal code stuff on this too, right, just to see what could happen. One of the things is misuse of improper access use of a computer. Yeah. That's a 10-year maximum penalty. That's insane. But anyway, it seems like there was an effort to not breach people's privacy, because from what I've understood, nobody's address or phone number was attached. It was the names. Now, I wasn't in the Centurion Project. I didn't access the website, so I can't say for certain, but it seems like, you know, there was an effort made. And like you said, Derek, it's under investigation. Elections, Alberta, and now the RCMP, I guess, are going to get to the bottom of it. But I do want to point out, I know David Parker. I've known him for some time. I've had Cam Davies on my podcast a couple times. I know Tim Hoven. I know Marty. I know John Sidora. Like, all these guys, I would call them friends. Some of them make it more difficult to be their friends, but they're friends nonetheless. And each one of these people is 100% committed to an independent Alberta. They are.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Now, are we all going to do everything perfect and not make any missteps along the way? Of course not. Some of us are going to make bigger mistakes than others. But I want to point this out, just because I want people to know my position is, I don't believe this was something that was untoward or trying to accomplish something else besides winning the referendum, right? David spent time in the States. He saw how the Trump campaign took some states using the 10X system that the Centurion Project was based on. And he wanted to bring that to Alberta so that we could be civically engaged, do the work. Now, obviously, some T's weren't crossed and some I's weren't dotted, and it didn't work out. But just for the record, I don't believe that there was any ill intent to it.
No, and I don't either. But the problem is, what I'm talking about is the backlash that the main consumer of information is going to see. And that's what I was talking about with money going out, is that you're going to, like, first off, what I should have probably stated a little more clear is that if you're going to give money, people can give it however they want. And that's what I said on the stream later on is, look, donate to who you want to donate to, but just understand who you're donating to. So, like, what you guys do, I think, is credible. You guys have a widespread reputation, and people, again, support what you do, and that's up to them. It's the same as people supporting me in a live stream with super chats. They feel comfortable doing that. That's where their money likes to go to. But my concern is, again, as you mentioned, with David spending time in the Trump era of the United States and bringing in the 10X formula, what you're going to see is now, and I guarantee it, watch over the weekend, early next week, they're immediately going to start mentioning, is this being funded by Americans? Is this coming from America? 100%. Are people
they've already started
funding those? Exactly. Yeah. So they're going to go full bore on it. And when you think about the whole 51st state rhetoric that they pushed through the federal election, it's going to be a fear campaign to put all the forever Canadians, all the El Bozos up on full alert that this is now a 51st state thing and that we're all vile people. My concern is what happens to the safety of Albertans that are out on the roads waving their flags, the ones who are participating in rallies or going to different events. Are they going to be abused, mistreated, painted with a wide brush so that, again, says, oh, you're all MAGA, you're all, fear tactics, essentially, to push people in fear away from independence. So when outfits like yours or Stay Free Alberta /APP or whoever wants to do any campaigning over the summer goes to speak, are people going to be willing to go to those events and listen? Are people going to be willing to take your information instead of saying, oh, but they're MAGA or they're just interested in 51st state? How many times has Jeff Rath had to say there's no viable path towards statehood? It's not going to happen, right? Like we're still pushing up those facts. And that's ideally my concern, is that bad actors, and again, I'm not labeling, I'm just using something like the Renew Alberta as an example, all of a sudden show up once, everything's done with the campaign and start saying, well, I got great ideas. I've got good ideas over here. And then another group shows up and says, well, what if we try doing it this way? And they start breaking people off into different factions almost, or different groups where people start getting misguided on what independence is. This is where I think that those who are influential, like myself, like us, you guys, Stay Free Alberta, Mitch, Jeff, everybody, Keith, all of us should be at one meeting. And again, I don't disagree that they shouldn't have broke things off throughout this process by saying, well, Chris, you go do your thing, we're going to do ours. I don't know why they went dark on a lot of things. I know I got a lot of heat because I did a speaking engagement with Jason Levine and Dr. Modry. And then all of a sudden, all the news came out about Dr. Modry being looked at for a number of different things. I won't get into it. But all of a sudden, some people started saying, you know what, Fringe, if you're associated with Modry, we got to wait until this stuff's done before, we want to take you seriously on some things, just so we know how deep the well goes. That's my concern, is that everybody's going to get painted with a brush that essentially pushes people away from the movement and villainizes.
Well, you are
without
right.
Merit.
Like this didn't help, right? Like the Centurion Project stuff in the past 48 hours has not helped the movement at all.
No.
And one of my very first videos I put out there was to remind people of what the movement is. The movement is not Stay Free Alberta. The movement is not Let's Talk Alberta. The movement is you. Yes. The movement is what you want for your future of your province. What does that look like to you? Sit around your table, talk to your neighbors. What does that look like to you? Can you guys come up with some sort of solution, or what are your value and belief system? And I'm truly trying to remind people that it is not Mitch, it is not Jeff, it is not Chris, it is not you, it is not me. It is each and every person individually. Because when you're at that ballot box in October, it's going to be you and your vote that matters, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You want to hear a story about an interaction I had with David that didn't end well? When I met David Parker, we met at the Red Willow Barn in like Olds or something like that. I think it's called the Red Willow Barn. APP was having an event of some sort, and I was there speaking. David Parker came to hear what I was saying, and we met, and he told me about his plan to change the course of the UCP ship and fix things, get rid of Kenny, get a good premier that was going to, advocate. And I said, that's all great. It sounds great, but that's not the solution. I said, the solution is an independent Alberta. That's it, period. No, we can do this. We can fix things, blah, blah, blah. And so whatever, we agreed to disagree. I continued with APP, and he eventually started TBA. So fast forward a little bit, I was invited as a speaker to speak for TBA. And it's because people would come to events back then to listen to me speak because of the restaurant stuff. So I was bringing people to these meetings, and I was very adamant that I would always talk about Alberta independence. Like, yeah, this is great that we're going to fire Jason Kenney. It's great that we're going to get a new premier, but that's not going to that's going to treat the symptom, but it's not going to cure the underlying disease. And the disease is inequity and confederation under the Constitution. So I would speak at events, and I was speaking at I hope David sees this. He might even laugh about this now. I was speaking at an event in out by Rocky, and David was late. And I took the time to just speak to the crowd. Full house. I would say half of them are wearing APP hats, right? So they're all on board with the idea of Alberta independence. David shows up. He gives a speech. He has another guest there. I'm not going to mention who it is, but you would know him if I told you. And the crowd was constantly like, well, yeah, but what about independence? Like bringing these things up. And David lost it. Like, he's like, this isn't effing APP. This is TBA. And he was so mad. I was already on my way out the door. Wasn't invited back to speak at another TBA event. I got a phone call from Tammy the next day saying, yeah, we're going to have to cancel you at these next events. And I was like, yeah, I already knew that. But the reason I bring this up is because through this whole journey, that's happened to me a number of times. People have been distracted with the next shiny thing. One of my friends in Westlock, she's like this. She's a fantastic lady, but every time something happens, oh, we got to do this. We got to do this. We have to get this petition. We have to elect Pierre Poilievre. We have to do this. And I'm like, no, my goal is an independent Alberta. That's where we need to go. Oh, well, if we elect Pierre Poilievre, it'll be great. No. And I would have arguments, and people would get mad at me. And some of these things would be heated. I have not veered from that path ever since I came to the conclusion that Alberta independence is necessary and inevitable. I haven't. Right through the TBA stuff, all through APP, going through that slump, we spoke to crowds of 10 people sometimes. It's always been about Alberta independence. And I've watched as groups pop up, raising money, finding benefactors, pursuing goals that I know are nothing burgers. And it's everything. It's all I can do just to stay quiet and not call them out for distracting people from what the actual solution is. It's a little bit infuriating, but these are my friends, right? And you got to make sure we have to try and keep the relationships. We don't want to lose our friends over this stuff, but this is the position I've been in for the last 6 years, is watching these things happen. And now we got the referendum coming. So I'm like, I don't give a crap what anybody says. I'm going to focus on the educational aspect. I'm going to feed people pierogies, and we're going to talk about the stuff, and we're going to do everything we can. And, when I see guys like you, Derek and Lawrence getting on board with this and starting to talk about it, it's like, if we continue with our eye on the prize and we just go walk to the goal, run to the goal, we can't be stopped.
No,
we can't.
No.
Yeah.
This is a huge audience.
It's one of the main things I think is that I was trying to carry in tonight's stream, is that it's crunch time. And if people are going to get sidetracked now with things like a supposed data breach, it's going to get much worse, significantly worse. In fact, I was talking to my audience about Monday handing in the signatures, and people, it basically came up because I was out with the wife on Wednesday, and I ran into a viewer at the restaurant, and she said, how many signatures do you think we have? And I says, well, how many do you think we have? And she says, 1 million. I think we're near 1 million. And I said, no, it's not. And she says, okay, very often. Well, I said, Mitch just said in March that we passed the threshold. She says, yeah, but he didn't say that we just passed the threshold. And okay. But I said, I'm worried. I said to my audience, I think people are going to get overhyped on kind of like you see with like movies and stuff, where people get really excited and then they go see it and it's been overhyped so much that it kind of makes it suck. And I said, it's kind of my fear on Monday, is that a lot of people think, 700,000, 800,000 signatures. And then they find out it's significantly less possibly, and say, oh geez, I guess that means independence is dead. We're going to have to go through a crunch time here where we realize if we truly want independence, there were a lot of people who, out of fear, especially when you look at the claims of this data breach, this was the reason a lot of people didn't want to sign the petition. A lot of people got nervous and said, I don't want my information out there. I don't want to risk losing my job. I don't want to risk losing everything I've got with, friendships, relationships. I don't want to be doxxed or attacked. So a lot more people are willing to go on referendum day and vote. But when you get the numbers, I keep telling people, like, this is our time to dig deep and realize we got work to do. And we all got to come together to do that. And part of the reason, again, we were mentioning the money and things tonight was, and forgive me for mentioning Let's Talk Alberta, but I said it's got to be fair game. We have to mention everybody, is because, like, when you think about things like BLM, like, their uprising came from rage over what they call, I guess, the Summer of Love or whatever. But look what the organizers of BLM did. Like, weren't they buying mansions and stuff with all the money they grifted off of people? So that's my concern, is that it's something similar to Freedom Convoy, where people who are legitimate like us come in and say, hey, we want to do everything we can to get over the finish line. But then somebody with ill intention or somebody to muddy the waters is coming in to get money and, make a dash. I was really blown away when I seen Maxime Bernier coming out last weekend saying, hey guys, you need to do what you got to do and everything. And he says, go sign the petition. Dude, signatures ended 48 hours ago. Like, and are you that out of touch? Like, but there's Max the Grifter. Chris, I remember seeing him at the Whistle Stop on Canada Day last year because Pierre was running his by-election. I remember standing up at the podium because we were doing Mike Freedom Honey's honey taste off. And he's standing there with his purple shirt guys. And he came down. I said, Max, because I'd met him a few times. And he goes, yeah. And I said, what the fuck are you doing here? And he goes, well, I'm here to talk about Pierre. I said, nobody's here for Pierre. We're here for Alberta. Like, what? So that's my concern, is that guys, when Max drops those kind of videos, I'm not saying Max is going to come in and try to take Alberta, but you worry about bad actors. Well, there's rumor, but I don't think he'll get anywhere. I mean, he can't even get a seat. He can't get a sit with a PPC, but you worry about bad actors who are going to come in and take advantage of those who just want independence. They just want over the finish line. And that's the message I keep trying to convey is sit with the people you trust and just focus. Like everybody's goal right now should be talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, and get to October 19th. Just get to the referendum. And don't worry about all the news stories that come out and all the blackmail, everything else, the scandals. It's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like that's what I was saying before you came in earlier on. You know, is there's like I made some videos there, and you know I gotta look inward a little bit because I don't know. I'm a pretty polarizing guy. I am. I'm not a professional streamer as much as people want to call me that. I'm a blue collar dude. I'm a mechanic. That's what I am. Mm-hmm. And I fell into this, right? I don't have a journalism degree or nothing. I literally am very, very passionate. And sometimes that passion, you know, comes off as anger. And people take that the wrong way. And I got to learn to own that because like you with a lot of followers or Chris with a lot of followers, like with that comes great responsibility, right? It always will. Yeah. And the thing is I have to really, you know, take a double take sometimes when I get called out by people in the movement and things like that. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up once in a while and just keep moving forward. And that's what I have to learn to do too. Right. So, you know, I'm not innocent in this at all. But the thing is, you are absolutely right. We have till October to get people educated, to get people hyped, to get people motivated. And while that is happening, we are going to be getting, you know, hits from the mainstream news and they are after influencers hard right now because they know we bring and build momentum. Right. And, you know, you just mentioned it. You're out in public. Somebody stops you at the restaurant. Chris gets stopped all the time. I had a lady, and this is going to sound really messed up. She showed up at my house today and in front of my house. And she's like, I love you guys. Huge fan. You're amazing. And when she left, I was like, who was that? Like to my wife. And she's like, oh, I don't know. And, but again, like people want to talk about doxing. Like I've been doxed so many times. My supporters know my address. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, we have to, you know, stay the momentum. All I do know is in the last 48 hours, because of what did happen, there's lots of speculation out there. We'll know, right? That he has 3 more days to give up some stuff to Elections Alberta. You know, people are angry. People are upset. People are already on edge. People are still angry from cigarette butt going in Buddy's face, you know, collecting signatures. People have all this anger inside of them. And it's going to be, you know, I want to be able to convince people, take that anger, turn it into passion like I'm trying to do, and let's push forward to October. And I think that's maybe our messaging. What it needs to be is, you know, and I'm just learning like all of you guys and just reflecting on this in real time right now is maybe not focus on who did what or who's doing this or who's doing that. And let's focus on the education piece and move forward to October. Because we need everybody. We all need to stand shoulder to shoulder through this to get through this battle. Yeah.
You know, I mentioned it tonight when I was talking about Centurion, when I said, just let the investigation play out. Those who are guilty, I said, do you guys realize it's going to end in fines? Like, it's not going to be anything big. Just let it play out and move forward. Don't pay attention to it. The best advice I ever got getting into social media was from Tamara Leach when she says, treat everything like a billboard. Just post and walk away. And this time, it's the best advice because, like you said, Lawrence, we're going to get attacked from all angles here as this moves forward. It's important we don't engage because all they need is that one sliver of information or that one misstep. And all of a sudden, again, we're all painted with the same brush that, oh, this is what those guys are doing. This is what they're all about. See, they're unhinged. They're terrible. And I've had to scrub a lot of what I've been doing because, you know, I'll do little rants on my live streams. And it's because my viewers like them. They say, oh, that's exactly how I feel. And I just don't want to say it. But I always tell them it's a bit of a character we're doing. Like, it's just me venting how you feel. And it's just for fun. But the problem is that when CTV News starts covering us and other outlets start covering it, they don't see it that way. Yeah. Right. So,
and they frame it, you know, they frame it a certain way.
They split the narrative however they want. So we got to start saying, okay, like even tonight's stream, it says, guys, no more rants. We're going to be a little calmer and we're just going to talk about facts. And that's it. Right. You're going to get what I'm going to give you. And that's it. And we'll just stay in our lane. We'll move for independence. And we do it as a team. We get over the finish line.
I'm going to talk about my feelings for a second.
Let's do it.
Oh, no.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $15 though, bud.
Here we go. Early on in my, when things were going really crazy at the Whistle Stop, cops were there all the time, AHS was coming all the time. I watched a video by the angry Albertan, Josh Switzer. You remember?
Yep.
You know him?
Yeah.
And I really liked the guy. Like, he was really giving it to the government about what was going on. He was, concerned what was happening to people. And then he mentioned me, and he's like, what do these business owners have to do? They got to like light themselves on fire in front of the legislature to get the government to listen to them. And I was so proud that Josh took the time to be concerned about me. It meant a lot to me. Things progressed. It's getting pretty heated. We got to a point where what were we doing? It was a protest. We're doing a big protest. It was the one I got arrested at. And I texted him. I said, dude, we could really use your help. I need to make this thing huge. And he didn't respond to me. And then I went and somebody showed me a video that he did, or something. And he was saying, he called me a grifter. And he said that because I was selling t-shirts and, selling stuff, that I was in this for just the money. And that's what it was all about. And I'm like, I was really hurt. Like, legit, I was actually depressed that he said those things to me. None of that was true. I have a business. I have a fiduciary duty to my employees to make money. I have to sell things. I knew we were going to need resources. So, we did fundraisers. We did those things. And to watch somebody that I respected and liked say those things about me, it sucked. And ever since then, I've had it's a real sore spot when someone makes a claim that, that I'm doing something untoward and trying to benefit myself. Nobody has any idea what I've lost, what it's cost me. They really don't. And I'm not super open about it. I've hinted, but that's the reason why I get a little bit dinkish, is because of that old wound. Right. And to this day, like I was just going through my contacts on my phone, and Josh Switzer comes up, and I was like, I was sad that we aren't friends, because I had a lot of respect for the guy, so there's my touchy-feely moment. That's why
it's funny, because I've seen Lawrence's videos where he's talking about, guys, I'm running a business. This is my income, blue collar worker, and
lost his
now
job.
hearing what, and Chris, I watched, pressed against the screen, what was happening in the Whistle Stop during the pandemic, and it blew my mind. Like I've always told the story of because that's what spawned how the Prime Minister stole freedom, is that I was watching that whole convoy and the streams all day, all night, because we were all locked in the house. And I remember my daughter, being 6 years old at the time, asking, are the truckers going to get our lives back? And I'm thinking, this is a child that has to ask these kind of political questions. Like, what has the world turned into? But anytime I seen the police outside your restaurant, I remember the day they put chains on the doors, and you walked up and they says, if you open those doors or whatever it was, that's it. And you said, okay, so be it. And before you know it, the stories were running that you'd been arrested and the place had been locked down. I looked at it and says, that guy's standing up for what he believes. It's his business. It's his bread and butter. And it's the one misconception I think a lot of people don't understand about what we do on social media. I didn't go into this thinking I'm going to make a career out of YouTube. I'm going to be what they call an influencer. I don't even like that term. But when you have a channel that runs 2.5 million views a month and 30 to 60,000 views a day, unfortunately, it becomes a full-time job if you want to maintain that position, which I'm very grateful for. To be able to give people information that others aren't, when you're able to inspire and bring hope to those who feel they have none. And unfortunately, for the people who have a bone to pick with it, money's involved. But I always tell people, if you don't want to super chat, and again, we never ask for those. I don't know too many channels that do, but I always say it's very much appreciated when it is, but we don't push for it. If you really want to help us out, just watch the content. Let Google pay us. They're $1 billion company. Let them pay us, right? That's how you support us. And when I talk about my living, when I talk about the CTV thing and how it's affected the channel, because, oh, so you're here just for the money. Well, unfortunately, I kind of like the idea of my children not starving to death.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, this is my job. This is my livelihood now. This is what I've invested my time into. People watch a 15-minute video and think, oh, it just takes them 15 minutes to put that together. No, dude, I got to research all day. I got to go through posts. I got to get facts. I got to do multiple run throughs. I got to edit. Like, a lot goes into what we do. And for these people who turn around, anytime they turn around, Chris, and they say, oh, they're grifters. Okay, go to your job and work for free and tell me you're okay with it.
Yeah.
Right. Go, if you're a mechanic, go fix a car and tell the guy it's on the house. See how you feel at the end of the day when you go home and there's no food in the fridge. It's a job. You know, respect the hustle. It's no different than an entrepreneur going into business for themselves. Roll with it. I always tell people who are you're jealous. Do it yourself. Anybody can start a YouTube channel. Lawrence, you heard what I was saying when I was in Red Deer a few weeks ago. I told people you could be on YouTube too.
Yep.
Use your phone, use your camera, be a part of this. Like, it's all in your own steam. So get at her.
That's the thing is I try to educate people on that too, because this was just videos on the internet while I was a mechanic until 2 years ago in January, right after Christmas. I got a phone call that said I was fired. Right. Yeah. And I was fired for all of this. And then, just go get another job, which I did. An oil company hired me. I was sitting in a first aid course. I got a call from the oil company, found out who I was. Sorry, we can't hire you. And that's the way it is. It's not just putting videos out there to educate the masses or put information out there. There's a real cancel culture that goes with this, and we've lived this. All three of us on this stream have lived that cancel culture. You know, all men trying to provide for their families, trying to, better their families, have had that happen to them. And the thing is we're not alone in this. It happens in the States. It happens in Europe. It happens all over because the left really does control the cancel culture narrative. So I get bugged all the time, get a job, you bum. I just paid my tax bill. Every single one of us that make money, any sort of income on the internet has to pay taxes. Last I checked, when you make money and you pay taxes, that is a job, right? Yeah. And the thing is they just don't like it because it's not the fact that we are doing this and we do research all day. For me, I'm getting better at it. For me to put a 14-minute YouTube video out takes me 2 hours to edit it, right? I'm getting better at it, but I'm the overlay king. Like, I overlay everything. But the thing is they don't like us. They don't like our opinion. They don't like what we're doing.
A lot of people get upset at success. They don't like to see other people succeed, right? It's
crabs in a bucket.
Well, it's one of those situations where when I look at the whole mess of things, I had no intentions of getting on YouTube.
Republic of Alberta, what's up?
I had it's okay. I had my book come out and it was a big success, and I figured I got my foot in the door. I had a joy of meeting people like Theo Fleury, Dr. Peterson, Sarah Palin, like all these amazing people. I mean, I had the pleasure of going to Premier Smith's office this year, even though we shared conversations back and forth. And I go, where else could I do this in any other job? It's an enjoyable form of work, but at the same time, I'm investing my time into it. When I get up in the morning, I have to make the decision. Do I get out of bed and go make a video, or do I take the day off? Do I make money, or do I leave it on the table? And just because I work for myself doesn't make it any less credible than somebody who goes for a job for somebody else. I've gone into business for myself. I believe in the product that I've built. I made something out of nothing. The same as you, Lawrence, with your shirts and everything you do. Chris, you going into business with yourself with your own gas station and restaurant. I mean, that's very commendable because the risk that is involved in things like that, people don't look at that. And that's, well, your Alberta merch as well. But the thing is that when people see, and I used to read the comments when your restaurant was shut down, and people saying, oh, that guy's just, weak and he should go get the jab and he should just shut up and follow orders. I'm going, This is how the guy feeds his family. Like, how could you be so cold to think, like, do you have any idea what that guy's probably signed up to get his restaurant? Like, if he doesn't go to work, they're not just going to shut the doors of his business. They're going to take his house. They're probably going to take his car. His family's going to be out on the streets. Have some decency. Like, I don't know what's wrong with people. But they hate and detest when people have success.
They
Well,
hate
that
us.
actually happened.
They do.
I sacrificed both of my houses. I had a house that was almost paid off and a rental house that was, like a quarter paid off. But those both went into keeping the whistle stop going. I don't own a home anymore. Have you guys seen, did you guys watch Inspector Gadget when you were younger?
Yep. Yes.
Was that not the best cartoon ever? Check this out. I liked it so much, I actually got Dr. Claw's cat. See that thing?
I love that.
Claw's cat, is it not?
He needs the spike collar. You need the spike collar on there to match.
And I do see super chats coming in here, so I just want to say thank you to everybody for the super chats. I am not in a position that I can even click on the screen to put the super chats out there, but you guys are absolutely amazing for that. We appreciate you. One thing that I did want to say though is this stream itself, right? It actually shows who we all are as humans. Like for instance, even how this all happened to have the fringe in here and everything else, we can sit here and have a conversation with each other, right? It's not what they say we are, right? They spend all day trying to divide us or say this or say that about us. But in all reality, we've all met in person. We all know we have the same goal. We might not agree on everything, but we can still sit here and have a respectful dialogue because we respect what each individual is doing in the movement or for whatever it might be they're doing, right? We all know what it takes to get content out there. We do. Our viewers maybe don't, but at the end of the day, we know the risk that goes with it. And, I appreciate, the Fringe's voice. I appreciate Chris Scott's voice. I appreciate, Mandeep Ball. There's so many other people out there. Yes, I'm a very polarized individual. Yes, there's people in the movement that don't respect me one little bit, but I know that is going to happen because that's what happens when we have a voice and we get people together. But I would like to know, like, when I show up at an event, we can sit there and shake hands and have those disagreements logically because we're still human, and they try every day on the other side to dehumanize us, right? And demonize us. And, this was great that this actually happened tonight because, we weren't talking shit about anybody. I don't think you're talking shit about anybody. We can all sit here and have a conversation. That's what. Yeah.
It's I just seen RC Lamoureux in there with the super. Is that the guy that was in his camper that got towed out in BC when the police were screaming at him?
I don't know.
He might tell us.
There was a guy. I think his YouTube channel started with RC, and I was watching it because I think it made it onto Rebel at one point during the pandemic. He was parked in British Columbia somewhere. I can't remember if it was Kelowna or Victoria or Vancouver, but it wasn't RC Lamoureux. There was a guy in his camper who did YouTube videos during the pandemic, and I thought it was RC something. I just thought it was the same channel. I was going to give them a shout out, but the cops kept trying to get into his camper to tell me he had to move, and he refused to put on a mask and go out there and talk to them. It was this whole episodic thing. It was great, but it's not the same channel. But you know what? I'll tell you, I've made a lot of great friends on this journey in social media, and like you said, we all know each other, we all talk to each other, and part of the reason I think we all need to get on the same table is because I think if you put all these heads together and all these great visionaries that are not only YouTubers but entrepreneurs and great business leaders, I think there's a lot we can get done to get us over the finish line on independence if we all get on the same path and we all have the same focus, and hopefully those at the table that are considered maybe the heads of this come together and agree. I think it's necessary. I think we need, and I said it tonight on stream, we have to unify. We've got to move as a unit, or else it's going to fail and collapse. I want to see everybody work together. I want to see everybody come out of this ahead. Independence is the only path forward, and we need it yesterday.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. And I have to do better on that. I get a little bit heated, like I said before, and I got to look inwards on a lot of things. And, I was very pissed off when the Centurion Project thing happened. I was mad. I was really mad. And because the first thing that went to my head was all the people out in the cold, in the wind, in the snow, in the sleet, collecting signatures. And I've been talking to these people for months, right? And I've been seeing them out there. And when I was going around Alberta, when I would see somebody collecting signatures, I always tried to make a point to stop. If it was safe to do so, stop and thank them for what they're doing. And then that was the first thing that hit me was, is this over? Like, did we just waste all these people's time? And maybe that's part of me. I got to take a step back and I got to be like, okay, Lawrence, simmer, just chill out and then get your content together and put it out there.
Yeah, I always, you know what? I should probably take my own advice. One of my biggest problems is I don't take the time to breathe when I see this stuff. It's usually, all right, let's go hit the airwaves and scream about it. But it's just, it doesn't do anybody any good. And I think especially over the next 6 months, cooler heads are going to prevail. And I think when it comes to this stuff, you know, Denzel Washington was once caught in an interview where he says, everybody's rushing to be first, but nobody wants to be right, you know? And I think that's one of the things is that YouTube's a pretty messy game when it comes to news or delivering facts and everything. You always see everybody wanting to be the first one out there. I think what I don't know about everybody else, but I know for myself, definitely going to start focusing on, hey, let's simmer for an hour, 2 hours.
Me too.
Let the facts come in and let's get everybody's opinions. Let's hear what everybody's saying. And then let's talk about it before we just rush and, hey, everybody, guess what happened, right? Like it's, I think sometimes when you look at what happened with Centurion, I think it's designed because they want us to do that. They want us to all freak out and they want us to get people scared that they shouldn't be involved in this movement. So I think, again, cooler heads are going to prevail.
Yeah, I think we all learned something here a little bit for sure.
Can you guys can you guys see the comments as I put them up?
Yes, sir.
You saw them? Okay, good.
We did.
Steve mentioned that I didn't even think to put them up. I'm kind of brain dead. Corey chimed in too. I think it was when I was talking to Corey Morgan says, whether the intent was nefarious or not, the data appears to have been misused and it erodes trust for everyone. These are players who should have known better.
And I agree, Corey. 100% I agree. And again, I did a post about that, basically saying the things we know is data was used improperly. We do know this. So the reason we know this is because the lists were salted. Corey Morgan did a very, very good video on this yesterday. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. I did it in my live stream last night, basically showed his video. And we do know that there was a list used improperly, but where does it go from here? And that's where we got to go.
Yeah. I have some breaking news for everybody.
Oh, can't wait.
For all of those people that are concerned about the improper use of this list and their information getting to people, this just in. You're being surveilled by your government. It's been happening for years. They've been busted a number of times. People have your name on a list, and the ones that are doing things legally, like through the legislation, are the least of your concerns.
Yeah.
You know, that's the reality of this.
And we're going to move forward from this, and we're going to move on from this. And if there was anything illegal, people are going to be held accountable. That's what's going to happen, right? And we have October to look at. That's the way I see
it. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Just let them do their investigation. If anybody's guilty, they'll be charged, and we move on. That's it. Stay in our lanes.
Yeah. So tomorrow,
what do we do next? I'm going to do you know what? I forgot to wrap the brisket. I got to go back to the whistle stop and wrap 300 pounds of meat and put it.
Did you make cinnamon buns?
No. You want me to?
Well, you should probably make cinnamon buns tonight too, eh? Just kidding.
And you guys got quite the event going on at the whistle stop this weekend, eh, Chris?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We got some music and
thanks, Maple.
Barbecue. Lots of people going to be there. Free camping. When we do these events, I open up the whole property for free camping. I got 2 or 3 or maybe 4 of my friends flying in with their helicopters, so that'll be neat. Nice. We got a silent auction there's a ton of stuff. Like, people really, really want to support the Let's Talk Alberta stuff. It's pretty cool to watch, just people are rallying around the idea of getting the conversation to people. So that's pretty neat. What else is going on? I'm gonna try and get my Harley out there and see if someone will buy it at the event so I can pay my property tax, because that's the only way I can pay my property tax if I sell my motorcycle.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that'll be nice.
I will be there tomorrow. I will be there tomorrow. I'm only there for half the day. My daughter has ball, but I will be there.
I'll be there too. I'll probably be cooking. I got the whistle bus. The food bus is going to be doing the brisket and probably burgers and stuff over there. It's going to be a
That's
lot of
gonna be
fun.
good. It'll be
Unreal.
awesome.
And when we do these events, like, it's absolutely amazing. If you take a just a regular everyday business and they do something like this, it's nerve-wracking because you just don't know who's going to show up. You don't know how it's going to go, whatever. The people that show up for events at the Whistle Stop, they are
full house.
It's our people. It's
Mhm.
always a good time. People take care of each other. They pick up their own garbage. I had like 4 people there today helping get everything cleaned up because spring. I mean, there's a lot to clean up in the spring, right? Yeah, it's something you don't see just normally in businesses. So
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Well, we're gonna definitely try to be up there for Canada Day this year. Well, Alberta Day.
Alberta
more
Day,
Canada.
yeah.
Well, maybe we should just start calling it Independence Day or something. Like I know the Americans have it already, but we got to come up with a better term. Republic Day or something. I don't know. We'll find something for it, but we're definitely gonna try to get up there July 1st because I mean last year was off the chain. It was just absolutely insane. For anybody in the chat who hasn't been there yet, get up there. You're missing out. It's absolutely
awesome.
amazing. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, we'll be there
You know
July
what?
1st as well. It's on our calendar.
Alberta
Nice.
Day is actually what is it, September 5th or something?
It is an actual holiday, and that's what sucks is you can't technically have 2 Alberta days. Well, we should. Alberta's so
But-
great, we should have 2 Alberta days. But
You know what they
I
did?
concur.
They put Alberta Day like right when people are harvesting.
Yeah.
Our August long weekend events are so they were dead. The July 1st one, we had probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 people there. It was insane. So what do? I plan for 3,000 people. I buy more stuff, and we're more prepared. We have more food available outside, and we have 300 people, right? Because everyone's out working.
Unreal.
Yeah. Our day should be in the middle of the summer for sure.
It should
Yeah.
be. If they cared about us. Damn Federalists.
There we go.
Well, this was good, boys. This is awesome.
Yes, it was indeed. You guys have yourselves a wonderful night. Thanks for having me
You
in
too.
here. It's nice to not be yapping on just my show sometimes. But yeah, we'll have to get you guys in on our ground sometimes too. So
Absolutely.
Almost any time, except for most days during the week because I'm at Let's Talk Alberta events.
days that end in Y. I got you. All right, guys. Have a great night. Thanks again. Keep up
See
the
you
good
later,
work.
Fringe.
Yeah.
Have a good
Take it easy.
everyone, buddy. Thanks. Yeah, it was good.
Well, there we go.
So tomorrow, 11 a.m. until it ends, Whistle Stop Cafe, Muir, Alberta. The missus and myself are going to head up there tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow. If you need anything for me to grab and bring up with me, just let me know. You got my number.
Make sure you bring some Berta Proud Dad stuff because people are going to be asking nonstop.
I do have some. I have
Good.
3 items coming. 3 sweatshirts. That is just kidding. No, we are going to bring some stuff up, and proceeds of that, part of the proceeds is going to Let's Talk Alberta. And that's for any event moving forward. Part of the proceeds of any merch that I sell will be going to Let's Talk Alberta. We will also be doing a donation on behalf of Berta Proud Enterprises to Let's Talk Alberta. And no cinnamon buns, so we can't even have a cinnamon bun eating contest.
Well,
but we'll
I'll do
think
my
about it.
best. It's 10 o'clock now.
You don't do it.
Take an hour to get that meat done. I could get the dough done and get in early in the morning. I think I can do it. I'll try.
I wouldn't do it. You got enough going on. And yes, if you do have my merch, wear it up there, wear it loud, wear it proud. If you have Chris's, make sure you're wearing it loud and proud, or any other creator that sells merch, wear it loud and proud, because when you guys support us at our small businesses, you are helping support our families. That is the biggest thing, is you're helping us support our families and keep this alive and keep this moving forward. So doesn't matter who you buy from. We all have something, and you can support us in your own little way. So
Absolutely. And it
All right, buddy.
it does warm my heart to go to events or anywhere and see like a sea of blue Alberta, free Alberta hoodies with the Whistle Stop logo, or Alberta Republic hoodies without the Whistle Stop logo, whatever. That is really, really cool. It's really, really awesome to watch people wearing their opinions on their sleeve.
yeah, it is. Wear your opinion on your sleeve. It's important. Show the people what you actually stand for, and you're not going to get on your knees for anybody. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome, buddy. Well, this was great. Thanks, chat. Thanks, everybody. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and folks, eye on the prize. Don't worry about what's going on with Centurion Project. It will sort itself out. The budget will balance its. Oh, wait, no, that's something else.
What?
It'll all work out. We just keep swimming. We go where we know we want to go, and we don't look back. And let's make sure everyone gets there with us.
100%.
All right. I'll end with the Stumpy video because people seem to like it.
It's great. Bye, guys.
All right. Good night.